What's going on, Bucci Radio listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Bucci Radio with your host, myself, Amanda Bucci. Changing the way you think about yourself is hard, but it's a learning experience. Life is all about learning. Life is all about growing. Life is all about becoming your best self. This is going to be a solo episode where I talk about a highly requested topic, and that topic is how to be confident AF. AF means as in yourself. And how to be confident is something that so many people struggle with. You might be one of those people who look at your body and pick it apart, especially if society says that it's not one that they deem to be beautiful. You might be someone who looks at your life and finds the things that are wrong with it, constantly picking it apart. You might look at others' lives and think that theirs is the best and yours could never ever be like that. You might be hyper-focusing on the negatives about yourself. You may bond with others over self-deprecation and talking negatively about yourselves and kind of lifting each other up for when those conversations happen. You may scroll through social media yourself thinking this person's so pretty. You might think that they have everything, and then you kind of look back at yourself and think that you don't. And it makes you feel bad about yourself for them having everything. You might think that you're not smart enough, you're not tall enough, you're not lean enough, you're not rich enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not good enough. And when you say all these things out loud, it sounds pretty dumb, doesn't it? But those are the thoughts that go through our minds constantly. The thoughts that we have during the day, a large majority of them are typically negative, and they're negative about ourselves and towards ourselves. All of these things are actually halting you in your tracks. You are trying to make progress in life. You're trying to have the best life that you possibly can, especially if you're here listening to this podcast. But all of these things are self-limiting beliefs, and they're stopping you from getting yourself to where you want to be. So what is a self-limiting belief? It's a belief in something that's not actually real, but you just decided to think that it was for reasons inside of your own head, whether that be something that you learned in the middle of your adolescence, something that society has kind of ingrained into your mind. Somewhere between childhood and adulthood, our natural inclination to dream big lessons. We all wanted to be astronauts, scientists. I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was little. I wanted to change the world. And so did everybody as a kid. Like as babies and toddlers, we dream big. But as an adult, like somewhere in between that, we get lost in just settling for smaller dreams. So we'll settle for like working at a restaurant for the rest of our life just because it pays the bills and it's easy money. Parents, teachers, and friends start imposing their own beliefs onto us as kids, and those are what we end up believing about the world and about ourselves. In the book that I'm currently reading, it's called The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. They call these beliefs bullshit rules, so they put those words together and called them rules. The true question is, how do we overcome these bullshit rules in our life, these rules? How do we go from constantly thinking negatively about ourselves most of the day, majority of the day are negative thoughts about ourselves, to constantly thinking positively about ourselves? It is not easy, guys. I can tell you that right now. You might be sitting here with your lack of self-confidence like, well, I have all these things wrong with me. It's so hard to be confident. I struggle so much with this kind of thought. And this is where we need to challenge our belief systems, guys. This is where we need to change. So during this podcast, I'm going to give you guys a little bit about my experience with confidence, and then I'm going to give you 14 different takeaways that you can do today. You can pick a few of them to do today, but you can re-listen to this podcast, take away these notions, and really use them to build confidence in yourself. So for me personally, I have always had a select few things that I always told myself in life. I told myself that I will never be good enough to make a lot of money. So I thought that I was going to kind of be in a safe job and make a decent amount of money, but there was no notion in my head that I was ever going to be able to break past that. I just kind of took that as what it was, and I was like, this is truth. I always thought that I'll never look the way I want because of my genetics. So I would look at other people on social media or in magazines or whatever on the internet and say, oh, I'll never be able to look like that because of my genetics. What I didn't know is that, of course, I'll never be able to look like that, but I didn't realize that I could gain confidence to be happy about what I look like, regardless of whether or not I would be able to look like somebody else. I thought that I would never fit in because I'm kind of an introvert and everybody that I was surrounding myself with was not like me. So I never thought that I'd be able to fit in college. I never thought that I'd be able to be that outgoing, extroverted, party person, life of the party, always like to go out and be social. And that's the people that I was surrounded by in college. And I thought I was just never going to fit in anywhere because I could not find the group of people that were like me. So let me explain how I nipped all of these in the butt to you guys. Like I said, I always thought I'd never be able to get lean because of my genetics. But then I started learning about bodybuilding, training, educating myself, and actually implementing all of those things that I was learning. I was using those little things and they were building my confidence house within myself. Each little thing that I learned and each little thing that I did built that block, built that house brick by brick. I never thought I'd fit in because I'm an extroverted introvert. So again, most of my peers were extroverts, but eventually I found a community of like-minded people online. I now have friends all over the world because I found ones that were similar to me. Just because they were on the internet, I ended up finding some in person as well and meeting people in person, but I just put myself in a position to look for those people that were like me. Like I said, I thought I'd never be good enough or smart enough or whatever enough to make a lot of money. I just had a cap on what I thought I could make forever, and I thought that it could never be more. But here I am. I made just as much as I would have if I stayed in the medical career path that I was going to be on my first year out of college without even having that career, with just working for myself. And I have since tripled my income in my second year of business working full-time for myself, tripled it. And I'm anticipating to at least double that again this year, or if not triple that again this year. So here I am. I was a complainer. I was constantly self-deprecating myself, guys. Like, you have no idea the amount of mean things that I used to say to myself. Like, I would look at my legs and be like, oh my God, they're so big. Or I would look at a part of my life or something that I did wrong and be like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I hate myself. I would say stuff like that to myself. And no wonder I was not confident in myself because I was programming my brain to lack that self-esteem and self-confidence. Like, no kidding. So that's a little bit about my story. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I did and then what you guys should do in order to be that person that has that self-confidence within them, that they know they can overcome any struggle. So we're going to take on 14 different notions and let's get right into them. So number one, you might need to listen to some harsh realities, whether it's something that you tell yourself or whether it's you asking people that you love to give you those harsh realities. So that's exactly what happened to me. I had somebody in my life that I trusted their opinion and I loved them. And they told me that I complained too much. And they gave me that harsh dose of reality that made me kind of stop in my tracks. So it might have been something that I just truly needed to hear because that was kind of my little trigger moment in life where I just changed the way that I thought. Someone just said, Amanda, you complain too much. I'm not trying to tell you this to you because I'm trying to be mean to you or I'm trying to make you angry. I'm trying to tell you it because I want you to change. In a good way. I love you. I want you to change though. I want you to be better because you're better than that. You're better than complaining too much. So if you need to hear that, I'm here to tell you that right now. Stop saying mean things to yourself. Stop saying mean things about yourself and to others about yourself as well. The words that you're saying to yourself and to others about yourself are ruining your self-confidence. They are diminishing the quality of life. They're making your life suck more and they're making you feel more sad on the inside. The more you do that and the more you say those things, the more you believe that it's true and the more that others believe it's true as well. I'm here to tell you to stop. Absolutely nobody benefits from you complaining about your lack of money, your stomach rolls, or anything else for that matter. I'm sitting here right now telling you to stop. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to stop cold turkey, but I am here to tell you that I hope that this changes your life because you need to stop immediately. Number two, become more self-aware of the story that you tell your people and in your mind as well. Like I said, I just told you to stop, but stop what? You don't really know how to do that yet. What are some of the things that you constantly say to yourself? Think about it. Think about those things that you say to yourself and to others about who you are, about what you look like, about what your relationships are like. Think about those truths that you tell to yourself because those things aren't actually truths. Those are just the things that your brain is programmed to think is true. I would try using a journal to start with and writing this stuff down if you don't feel like comfortable telling somebody all this stuff. It makes those thoughts more real, guys, and it just makes them more tangible, and it makes you understand them a little bit better when you write things down instead of just keeping them in your head floating around kind of subconsciously. Writing them down and actually forcing yourself to do that helps you figure out what those things are that you constantly are reminding yourself of that aren't actually true. Your mind is absolutely aware of what you say about yourself. So if you're saying that it's too hard, I want to quit, but I can't do it, I don't know how to do it, I've never been good at X, Y, and Z, I will always look like this, I am a bad procrastinator, I'm a bad at my handwriting's really bad, even small things like that. Those are the truths that you're constantly telling yourself. Then your mind just thinks, yep, Amanda's handwriting is terrible. She'll never have good handwriting, so she'll never be able to do calligraphy or something like that. But if you think about it, that's not a truth. It's not actually a tangible fact. I could change that, right? I could change that if I really, really wanted to, if I really put the action into it. So think about those things. Think about what you tell yourself and write that stuff down. So if you say it's too hard and you want to quit, and if you think about it instead, say it's too hard, but if I quit and I'm not giving up, say I'm not giving up in the middle of a workout, say I'm not giving up on this workout even though it's too hard, as opposed to before you would say, I'm going to probably give up on this workout. I don't think I can get through it. You proceed to not give up, and then guess what? You feel damn good about yourself, don't you? Have you ever done that where you feel like you don't want to go to the gym or something like that, and then you actually end up going and you kill it? What is that doing for you? That's another brick of confidence that's building your confidence house inside you. I'm going to be referring back to that during this podcast. That little accomplishment, that small accomplishment, just finishing that one hard gym session, that's a brick of confidence that you're putting into the foundation of the confidence house that you're building within yourself. So we had number 1 was to find yourself some harsh reality, whether it be someone telling it to you or you telling it to yourself. Number 2, become more self-aware of the story that you tell people. And number 3, let's change your story. So think about those good things that you like about yourself. Write those good things down. So for me, I talked about this in a YouTube video recently. So I would say that I really like my eyelashes. I really like the way that I can understand what somebody's feeling even though I'm not in their shoes. I really like my smile. I really like the way that I have really nice friendships and relationships right now. Things about myself, maybe that friendship relationship one isn't the best example, but write those things down that you like about yourself, whether it be the way you look, if that's something that you struggle with the most, or whether it be your relationships with people, whether it be your job and how you go about reacting to certain situations, things like that, write those things down. So for me, I still go through this stuff, guys. I still am in the process of changing my story and not self-deprecating. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an example where I was reminded to change my story for number 3 here. So yesterday, it was literally just yesterday, a friend of mine introduced me to one of his friends as someone with a quote unquote big YouTube channel. And I proceeded to say, this was literally yesterday, I proceeded to say, nah, not compared to most, there's plenty of people that have bigger channels out there than me. Why would I say that? So anyways, the friend of mine immediately was like, no. We are not dealing with the self-deprecating bullcrap. You have the best YouTube channel out there, and you have the biggest YouTube channel out there, and people absolutely love you. You're making a huge difference in the world. And that's what you're going to say to someone when you introduce yourself. Not there's people better than me, you're bigger than me. Why would you say that? So if I immediately say those things, and I used to say this stuff all the time, I've since gotten better, but again, I've been building those confidence blocks in my house, right? But I'm still building them. It's not like a complete house yet. I still want to add an addition to it. I still want to build a loft. I still want to water my lawn, stuff like that. All those analogies are just me explaining to you guys that your house of confidence might never be completed. You might still have to be working on it throughout your whole entire life. So again, I used to say those things about myself all the time, and I'm still working on them. But if you just change your perspective like he explained to me yesterday, you're going to push through those self-limiting beliefs, and then you're going to break them eventually. You're going to shatter those into a million pieces and be like, wait a second, why am I saying that? Why am I saying that about myself? Because that's not building confidence in myself, and that's not showing other people that I'm confident in myself as well. So they lose respect for me, and then I lose respect for myself. So change that around, change your story, change the things that you say about yourself. So number 4, turning negatives into positives helps you relate to others. So if you are saying something negative about yourself, and then you turn that into something positive about yourself and you tell other people about it, how many other people are going to relate to you guys? So if you guys are trying to connect to people online, if you're trying to make friends, if you're trying to just find that confidence in yourself, sharing that with people is going to help you relate to them and it's going to help you build that confidence. So let me give you a little bit of an example and tell you how you can do it for yourself as well. So recently, I've put on a little bit of body fat since my last bikini competition. So I've gained 20 pounds. It wasn't easy for me in the beginning, and I thought it was just a negative. I was like, I gained too much fat. There's too much fat on my body. This fat on my body, I don't like it. I want it to go away. But recently, I have a friend who's a photographer, and she said, I would love if you would post a picture. Let me take photos of you for a body positive movement kind of post. It's no makeup. You're not going to be posing in any way that's going to be flattering at all. And I didn't put any makeup on. I posed in a way that showed all my rolls. Like, I don't have that many, but I have more than, I guess, Instagram fitness models. If you're like posting about fitness on the internet, if you have any sort of body fat, people kind of just lash out at you because they are like, you're not fitness, you have body fat. That's something that I struggle with a lot too, with when people kind of associate those two things as not one and the same. So I posted a photo and it got the most likes I've ever gotten on an Instagram post, the most comments, the most positive feedback because of the way that I showed myself. So if I wrote a caption saying like, oh, I have these rolls, I can't wait to start a cut, I'm so excited to get lean again, that's not connecting to people and that's not showing myself self-respect for the position that I was in on that day. That shows that I am not confident in the way that I look, and it shows other people that they shouldn't be confident in the way that they look if they look like that or if they look quote unquote like they have more body fat than I did. But what I did, I wrote a caption saying I'm happy. The smile is genuine on my face in this photo, and I'm not looking the way that I normally look in an Instagram photo. This is not a highlight reel. This is certainly like not one of those posed photos. I'm not tan. I'm not photoshopped, whatever. But all the positive feedback was just from me turning that positive into a negative. And that's something that a lot of people can't do. It's something that a lot of people just truly have a difficult time turning those negative things about themselves into a positive. But you know what? All of those people and all of those comments, it just made me feel that confidence again. Like, yes, this was the right thing to do. And this is something that I'm going to be okay with. So it's not to say that I'm not okay with it without the comments of strangers, without all of the likes from strangers on the internet. I'm not saying that you have to do that in order to feel confident about yourself. I'm not saying that you have to post a picture of yourself in your underwear and show people to it, but it's just an example of when you own your shit, others notice. And more importantly, your brain notices. So let me say that again. When you turn a negative into a positive, others notice and your brain notices. You're owning your shit. You're owning yourself. You're saying, I'm confident in myself. Even if you don't feel it 100%, even if you're like 90%, 80%, just looking the part and saying that to yourself changes the way your brain thinks. So 5, do the hard things and finish them. The best thing I've ever done for my self-confidence was complete tasks that were really difficult. So some of the things that I've completed in my life that were hard were completing a bachelor's degree nursing program at the University of Rhode Island. I did not ever get a C in college at all. I've only gotten A's and B's. I've graduated magna cum laude, and that was hard as hell. Not only did I complete nursing school and graduated magna cum laude, but I did it while working part-time jobs throughout the years. And I also did it my senior year of college while working 2 part-time jobs and prepping for a bodybuilding show at the same time. Not only that, but I moved across the country alone while I was prepping. I flew across the country, I shipped my car, I moved to a new place by myself, and I did know like a few people, but it was still by myself. It was hard, and I was doing it in the middle of a prep. Not only that, but I traveled to 15 different cities while in the middle of a bodybuilding prep as well. I knew that it was going to be hard to travel so much and make sure that I was staying on track with my macros, staying on track with my training, but I did it. I finished it. It was hard. It was so much easier to travel and to go outside of your own kitchen and your own comfort zone when you're not prepping and when you're not trying to stay on track with your fitness goals. Actually, most people use that as an excuse to stay off track. Most people take, oh, I'm going on vacation, or, oh, I'm doing this, this, and this. And they use that as an excuse to get off track when they really know that what they should be doing at that moment is to stay on track. But obviously that depends on if your vacation is just truly for vacation, but we're not going to get into that right now. Even if it's something small, those are some really big examples, but finishing a hard workout. So you have a really long day, you finish your day at 9 p.m. and you know you have to get to the gym, but you don't feel like it. Just go, get yourself there. That's the hardest part. Not only that, but finishing the workout is to the best of your ability. How do you think you're going to feel when you finish? Bad about yourself? Probably not. You're probably going to feel really damn good about yourself. You're probably going to add a brick to your confidence house when you do the hard things and finish them. Number 6, do things that make you happy and do things that make you feel good. So exercising, reading, meditating, getting a massage, going to the spa, playing your favorite sport, doing stuff that you excel at already, doing things that you know are confidence boosters for yourself, doing things that you know will make you look good, make you feel good, make you feel confident in yourself that you know already do that for you. Do those things and do them often. Number 7, be more curious. Being more curious about the world and being more curious about your own thoughts is going to help you, again, change that story that you tell about yourself. So ask yourself why and ask other people why often. This goes back to the rules kind of idea where we have those societal ideas that constantly regulate and constantly circulate around our minds and around the world that may be stopping you from being confident. Ask why and be inquisitive, especially with your own thoughts. So why am I thinking that way? Did I grow up thinking this, or is it actually a fact? Is it something that I can change? And if it's something that you can change, it must not be a fact. So just be curious and ask yourself, why am I thinking these things? Let's go through 1 through 7 really quickly. So give yourself a harsh reality or have someone give it to you. Become more aware of the story that you tell people and your mind. 3, change your story. 4, turn negatives into positives. 5, do the hard things and finish them. 6, do things that make you happy and make you feel good. 7, be more curious. 8, overcome self-doubt. Stop second-guessing yourself. You never know what the right answer is going to be, guys. You're never going to know what that correct solution is to your problem. Unless you seriously spend time researching, unless you spend time planning, unless you spend time figuring out this is the exact right answer and it's always going to be the right answer and it's always the right answer for every single person on the whole planet, it might not be the right answer for you. But if you keep second guessing yourself constantly and feeling like this isn't the right thing, I might mess up, I might be scared. Guys, life is one big learning experience. Being confident that your intuition is strong, even if it isn't, just be confident that you can overcome whatever your decision is going to be. So I like to think of it as, hey, like this might be bad, but let me see what I can learn from it. Or this might not be the right thing, but let me try to use it as a learning experience. So this ties back also into being more curious about yourself. But again, if you're constantly waiting for the right answer, you'll be dead before you find the right answer, because not only is there not always a right answer for everything, there's not always a right answer for you. Number 9, when you mess up, force yourself to get right back up. So again, this goes back to this sucks, or this is hard, or this is challenging, but I can't wait to see what I learned from it. I'm excited. I'm happy that this is hard and challenging because I know it's going to be a learning experience. So I was listening to some Tony Robbins, like motivational speaking lately, and he said that disappointment can fuel your drive or disappointment can destroy you. So it's either going to help you change and build those confidence blocks in your confidence house, or it's going to completely mess you up. So if you just allow it to destroy you, if you allow that to mess you up, you're never going to get anywhere. Being self-aware of this notion is so important when you're going through those tough decisions in those decision-making times, or when you're feeling like you're lacking confidence in yourself. Being self-aware of those things is going to help you change. So everyone's going to mess up, or everybody's going to need to do something scary that they might mess up at. But when you mess up, just force yourself to get right back up. Make yourself find that learning experience. Make yourself go through that tough time and push through and find the light at the end of the tunnel, because that's what life is filled with, guys. You're never going to go through life with all happy things. Like, being aware of that fact is just going to make them less scary, because you're like, well, this is another hard life thing. Let me see what I can learn from it. It sucks. Let me force myself back up. Number 10, get outside of your comfort zone during times that you know would make you feel amazing, even though it's scary. So this is the kind of similar idea to overcoming self-doubt. When you mess up, force yourself to get back up. But getting outside of your comfort zone is, again, I talk about this constantly. This is something that I constantly reiterate to you guys. If you listen to any of my stuff, you know getting outside of your comfort zone is something that you need to do. And if you haven't done it yet and you've listened to my stuff, you've listened to me talk on YouTube or here on the podcast, do it, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. Whatever you think is that for your life, whatever you think that comfort zone is in your little bubble, just jump right out of it. There's probably an opportunity knocking at your doorstep right now for you to get outside of your comfort zone. I encourage you to take it and see where that takes you, because doing those hard things, again, it's a hard thing. Getting outside of your comfort zone is not easy. It's not something that you're used to. But when you get outside of your comfort zone, you're learning more and you're building that confidence within yourself to do the hard things and finish them. Number 11, forget people that don't like you. This is huge, guys. I used to be the biggest people pleaser ever. I would constantly just hope people would like me and change the way I looked and change the way that I said things, change the way that I acted, or tried to anyway, in hopes that I would be fitting in and hopes that people would like me, in hopes that people would say, hey, like we're totally friends. Like I like you. I want to hang out with you. Like I want to invite you to parties and stuff because we're friends. We're cool. But those people that don't actually like you for who you are not going to be your long-term friends. You're intrinsically a person. You have a personality. You are someone, and you know exactly who you are. There's no one else that knows you better than you know yourself. So forgetting those people that don't like you is going to free you up from feeling like you need to change things about yourself. Those are chains that we're just clutches that we're engraved in, where we think we need to change to please somebody else, when actually we just have to get rid of those people in our lives that aren't ever going to like us. Those people are straight up, I'm telling you right now, those people are straight up never going to grow you. They will bring you down forever and ever. And I'm telling you right now that it's not worth sacrificing the quality of your life in order to just change for other people. Surround yourself with those people that are smart, those people that think the same way that you do, those people that will rub off on you. If there's someone that you want to be around, work for them for free, or do something for them for free, or provide value to that person just so you can be around them more and rub off on them. And this leads on to my next point quite nicely. Number 12, consume more positive media. I feel like we're constantly just consuming media. Twitter, we have it at our fingertips. Instagram, YouTube, podcasts, we're just consuming all the time. But I would challenge you to be aware of what you're consuming, because it might be changing the way that you think about yourself. So if you follow someone that makes you feel bad about yourself and makes you feel like you're not going to ever be up to par with them, I would be very, very aware of those things. But I would also just try to add those positive things into your life, like motivational Instagram accounts or motivational speeches. Motivational people that have a really positive message that talks to you, not just talks about them, talks to you as a person and wants to help you. People that promote self-love and body positivity. There's Facebook groups, personal development books, audiobooks. There's people in the world that can and will lift you up and make you feel confident about yourself. Number 13, smile and be grateful for what you have. Smiling in and of itself, just do it right now. Smile with me. Smile. Yay. Smiling in and of itself, if you ever heard of this kind of concept, just putting a smile on your face tricks your brain into thinking that you're a little bit more happy than you were previously when you had that like sad looking kind of straight face where you're not smiling. It's a positive notion. It's a positive action. And it'll kind of trick your brain into thinking that you're a little bit more happy. And then you can kind of go about your day with that little pep in your step. And being grateful for what you have is just about thinking about smiling for those people, those relationships, those things that you have that you're very happy that you have. Even if it's something small, like I'm happy that I have working legs because there's people out there that are in wheelchairs. Or I am very happy that I have a wonderful mom and dad. Although they are divorced, I'm happy that they both still exist. I'm happy that they both are still healthy. I'm happy that I'm healthy. I'm happy that I'm able to talk to you guys. I'm happy that I'm able to have this platform to share with you guys. I'm happy that I'm healthy and able to train and able to show people what I'm doing in order to change their lives. Small things, guys, small things to be grateful for what you have. There are gratefulness journals where you can journal things that kind of prompt you to remind yourself what you're grateful for, or you can just do it on your own where you just write down every single day a few things that you're grateful for, either in the morning or at night or both, or just in your head for a few times a day. Reminding yourself of those things will help build confidence in yourself as well and confidence in your life. So let's go through 1 through 13 before we talk about number 14 really quick. Give yourself a harsh reality. Become more self-aware of the story you tell people in your mind. Number 3, change your story. Number 4, turn negatives into positives. Number 5, do the hard things and finish them. Number 6, do the things that make you happy and make you feel good. Number 7, be more curious. Number 8, overcome self-doubt. Number 9, when you mess up, force yourself to get right back up. Number 10, get outside of your comfort zone even though it's hard. Number 11, forget the people that don't like you. Number 12, consume more positive media. Number 13, be grateful for what you have. And last but not least, number 14, understand that everything in life is a learning experience. That's the biggest thing for me. I'm constantly reminding myself that this is hard. It's a learning experience. Building confidence is hard. It's a learning experience. Changing the way you think about yourself is hard, but it's a learning experience. Life is all about learning. Life is all about growing. Life is all about becoming your best self. Hashtag best self. Life is all about that. And learning more and more is going to help you build your confidence in yourself as well. So guys, none of us are going to be void of all self-limiting beliefs and all self-doubt all the time. Like I said before, that confidence house that you're building is going to help you be more and more confident in yourself over time. So right now you might have a tiny studio apartment in Los Angeles that costs a lot of money, but what you want to have is a massive, massive mansion that you love, that you've built, that's beautiful, that's going to be your forever home. When you're in your confidence house. So you might be starting off small and you want to just build big. But even when you have that mansion, you might want to expand upon it. You might want to get a pool. You might want to build a yard. You might want to do something else with it. And even those most confident people still have stuff to work on. So even though you might be in that smaller house right now, it's okay to want to build on that. And it's okay to build on that. And it's okay to be kind of far off from where you want to be. But like I said before, it's not ever going to be a finished puzzle. But if there's anything that's going to help build you and get you to that point where you even want to just have a bigger home, like maybe a 2-bedroom home, it's taking action. It's doing things that are going to change your life. So progress is happiness, not the end goal. Hoping to get confidence and having that be your end goal is to just quote unquote be confident isn't going to get you anywhere. Remember that it's building blocks, it's a life experience, and it's something that you have to continuously work on. So if you guys want the written 1 through 14 of this podcast, I do have it in blog posts on my website, amandabucci.com. You can click on podcasts, and all of these podcasts are actually in blog form a little bit. Some of the interviews are kind of just closer to tidbits and pieces of what we talk about in the podcast, but this particular one and a few other ones I did write in blog posts. You guys can read them, remember them, write them down, pin them to your Pinterest board. You can do a lot of stuff when you have it written tangible down, but I think listening is going to really help you kind of catapult your excitement to do this. So thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Bucci Radio. I will catch you guys in the next one.